Hi guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Nic Hyl, and today we're going to talk about some great tips that I use, and you can too, to help keep your wardrobe living its longest life. Basically some fashion tips. So stick around, stay tuned, and see what I've got to share with you. Now, a lot of what goes into having a great wardrobe is really taking care of it. You've already done the hard work of finding the great pieces and investing in the pieces that you feel like your wardrobe needs. And as you own these pieces and they live and exist within your wardrobe, part of keeping them at their best and at their prime is really just utilizing some great tips to help keep them looking their best for years. Now, I personally like to buy and invest in pieces that are classic and can run the test of time. I want to be able to wear it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now if I desire to. And part of me being able to keep these pieces living in my closet for that long is the way that I take care of them. So some of the tips that I'm going to share with you today are actually all of the tips that I do for my own pieces in my wardrobe, and they're easy to implement into your wardrobe too. So tip number one is I actually don't use an iron on my clothes. I use a steamer. And here's why. When I'm constructing a garment and making it for the very first time, I use an iron because it is necessary in garment manufacturing and construction. But once I've completed the garment and it's now finished and I'm ready to own it and wear it and have it live its best life, the steamer is actually better for the fabric long-term care of my item. So it's not as harsh as the iron is. I don't have to worry about burning my iron. I don't have to worry about having the setting too hot for my iron because I'm removing the wrinkles from my clothes just with steam. It's the safest way to take care of your clothes, and most designers that I know use steam on their clothes and not an iron. So if you don't have one already, go and get yourself a steamer. There's so many on the market that you can buy. It really just depends on the space that you have in your home as well as whether or not you need it to be portable, if you're taking it anywhere with you. But at the end of the day, steam is steam, and brand and price I have found don't really matter too much with the price of the steamer. It's more so the fact that you're using steam to wrinkle out your clothes as opposed to an iron. The next tip I have to share with you is actually one that might be a bit controversial. So I don't really use the dry cleaners, and as someone whose first job was at a dry cleaner, and I worked at a dry cleaner for about a year of my life when I was 16 to pay for a traffic ticket. That's a whole other story. But I love the dry cleaners, and it's nothing against dry cleaners. It's just more so the chemical process that happens at a dry cleaner and how that chemical process can affect your clothes. Now, I'm not saying to not take anything to the dry cleaner, but what I am saying is to be mindful of the frequency with which you take your items to the dry cleaner. Personally, the only things I take to dry cleaners are my winter coats and special occasion garments with like sequins on them. A wedding dress, for example, or the dress that you wear as a guest to a wedding, tuxedos and suits. But if it's a blouse or pants or shorts, I prefer to hand wash them if they're extremely delicate myself at home as opposed to taking them to the dry cleaner. Because again, remember, my goal is to have longevity of that item in my wardrobe. So I want the piece to be able to last as long as it can. Part of the trick with getting a garment to last long in your closet has more to do with fabric and the way you care for the fabric than it does anything else. So the more that, or the less actually, that you take your garments to the dry cleaner, the longer that you're ensuring it can stick around in your closet. Definitely frequent your local dry cleaner and support those businesses, but support them with items that maybe are laundered instead of dry cleaning, because dry cleaning uses a lot of chemicals in the garments versus laundering. So if I can hand wash my item, I will. If I have to dry clean it, I'm careful about the frequency and the amount of times I take it to the dry cleaner, and I'll ask them to use as mild as a cleaning agent as possible. Finally, the last tip I have to share with you, I think, is a really cool one. So you know how sometimes when you wear sweaters, they'll get like little lint balls on them and you just hate the way that they look, and they can kind of age the appearance of your item, whether it's brand new or not. It's just what happens as we swing our arms and the friction of the material rub together. Especially with wool and wool blend items, it's going to happen. So what I do is I shear my wool. Now there's all types of gadgets on the market that are going to help you to remove those wool balls from your garment. The one that I have was gifted to me by someone from one of my factories, and it's so simple to use. It's almost like you're combing your hair. You just want to comb it in one direction. So, and you literally just like do like this, and you'll see that as you do that, it's starting to pick up the pieces of the wool that you won't be able to get with like a lint brush or something. Now, if you don't have the wool shear, then you can always use a razor blade to accomplish the same thing. Be more careful with the razor blade because the razor blade is designed to cut, whereas the shear is designed to just pick up. So you don't want to apply too much pressure if you use the razor blade technique, but otherwise it's just the same thing. You just go in one direction and shave off the extra fuzzies from your garment. There's tons of automatic ones that you can buy that almost look like a fan, and then you would apply it to the garment and remove it the same way. But the wool shear has helped me so much with all of my cashmere sweaters, my wool blend sweaters, lamb's wool, even synthetic sometimes it works really nicely on. That would be my one great tip, especially with your winter items. And I would recommend doing it before you pack your winter items away. So when you take them out, again, when you switch your closet from summer back to winter, all your items are prepped and ready to go, and you don't have to do a lot of maintenance on them. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that these tips were helpful for you and that you can implement them in your wardrobe to start making those investment pieces last as long as they possibly can. I'm Nic Hyl. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to my channel, Nic Hyl. And if you want to follow my journey as a designer, check me out on Instagram at Nic Hyl Clothing. And if you want to follow me personally as a person, follow me on Instagram at Nic_Hyl. Can't wait to talk to you again soon, and don't forget, live beautifully. Bye guys.